Welcome to 100 photography tips. Do you know what shot I have taken? I have taken this no parking billboard and followed by that particular number 20, which is the speed limit. So I have used the aperture priority to get those two different shots. One where no parking is sharp enough, and the other one where the speed limit 20 and no parking, both the symbols are visible and equally recognizable in the frame, and that thing happens because of the function of aperture. And this aperture is basically called the opening of the lens. So if you close the diaphragm, its depth will increase. If you open up the diaphragm, its depth will decrease. So whatever way you are doing photography, always keeping in mind that aperture gives you the access to get more details or your desired need for the shot. So keep an eye on aperture always. Welcome to 100 photography tips. Have you ever heard of 1 second story in photography? Yes, 1 second in photography and its fractions are the deciding factors in almost all the images in photography, and that is called shutter speed. So whatever exposure you give, shutter, aperture and ISO manages the shot for you, and in that case the story of 1 second of the shutter is always a deciding factor. So whenever you are clicking an image, always be with the shutter and keep an eye on it. This 1 second story will make your picture different. Welcome to 100 photography tips. Do you know what I was doing? On the monitor, I was just examining with the ISO setting to control the light condition and the exposure, because in this kind of landscape I have a choice of aperture and shutter speed to be nearly fixed, and so the only thing through which I can control the situation is ISO. And do you know what is ISO? Likewise, we human beings are pretty much sensitive to everything. If someone touches us, we suddenly react. Likewise, in photography, the cameras also having a very sensitive part which is associated to films earlier, and now it is with the CCT, that is color coupled device. So it controls the sensitivity and registers the image. So in that case, in modern cameras, the sensitivity is controlled by ISO, and that ISO setting starts from 100 normally, and it goes up to 3200, then to 6400. This range actually gives us a satisfaction to get the picture, but in higher ISOs, sometimes we get grains in the image. No matter whatever is the situation, the point is that ISO is one of the three components of exposure that decides a picture, and it is very vital in photography as well. So whenever you are at a situation where you are unable to manage the shutter speed and aperture, you have the only tool, that is ISO, to control the situation, and always keep that in mind. Welcome to 100 photography tips. What we discussed all these days on the basics of photography has a connection with this particular diagram. It's a diagram of exposure triangle, and this exposure triangle is a combination of three components: shutter speed, aperture, and ISO. So if you can manage this combination, you will get the best shot. So whenever you are into photography, always keep that in mind that I am actually doing a permutation combination in between three components: aperture, shutter speed, and ISO. And altogether, these three will give me a picture that is of my choice and that is of my priority. So, for your priority picture, your successful picture, always keep that in mind that exposure triangle is the ultimate guide for any kind of shots you are planning. Good luck. Welcome to 100 photography tips. What you are seeing is a 8200 2.8 zoom lens. I'm just keeping it here. One is 50 mm, what we call as normal lens, but I have a argument on that, as that if we say it is normal lens, then what about the other lenses? Are they abnormal? Think about it. So another one is a wide angle zoom. It is 1116, and this camera Nikon D7000 is having a short zoom 1855. Why I'm showing you all these lenses? Because in different kind of shoots we need different kind of lenses, and most of the time what we think is that, oh, I don't have this lens, my shoot will not be proper. Don't think in that way. Whatever is the shoot, you plan it earlier and choose the lenses according to that. If you don't have those lenses, then think differently to get your assignment done through a proper composition or framing, and that will give you a different mileage in your shoot. So my point is that whatever lens you have as a beginner, try to get a perfect shot with that, and that will be the success for you. Don't think about other lenses. These lenses, with the time, you will buy, and then your certain limitations will be overcome. So my best wishes to you with this limited resource to get good shots, and you'll think of it when you'll become much more seasoned in photography, that in earlier days I did a lot of shoot with the basic lenses. Now, though I have professional lenses and kits, my shoots are a little bit challenging. So don't think about it. Just try to shoot a perfect picture with the possible and available lens you have, and that will be the success story for you.